Imagine waking up every day with a clear sense of purpose, knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. That clarity, my friend, is the foundation of all success, and it begins with a simple decision to listen, to learn, and to act. If you commit to absorbing the right messages every single day, your life will begin to change in ways you never thought possible. The reason many people fail is not because they lack talent, opportunity, or luck. It's because they fail to feed their mind the right ideas consistently. Thoughts are like seeds. Plant them in the fertile soil of your mind, water them with discipline, and they will grow into actions that shape your destiny. Neglect them, and they wither, leaving behind a life of regret and what could have been. Every day, you have a choice. You can fill your hours with distractions, complaining about what life hasn't given you, or you can fill your mind with wisdom, guidance, and motivation. Those who choose the latter will find that doors begin to open, ideas begin to flow, and confidence becomes a natural companion. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who listen, learn, and apply every day without fail. It comes to those who understand that small, consistent improvements compound into extraordinary results. 10 minutes a day of learning, a new perspective, a powerful thought. Do it consistently for a year, and you'll be amazed at how far you've come. But there's more. The messages you absorb don't just influence your mind. They influence your habits, your choices, and the people you attract into your life. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. Surround yourself with wisdom, and it will shape your character. Surround yourself with excuses, and that too will shape you, but toward mediocrity. So start today. Listen to something that inspires you. Reflect on it. Take notes. Act on it. And do it again tomorrow and the next day, until it becomes a part of you. Because the life you dream of isn't waiting for a miracle. It's waiting for your mind to change first. Your mindset is the soil from which your future grows. Feed it, nurture it, and watch your life transform. Remember, greatness is not a destination, it's a daily practice. The more you listen, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the closer you get to the life you've always imagined. Listen every day, apply every day, and eventually your life will thank you in ways you never thought possible. Consistency is the invisible force that separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream about them. It is not the flash of inspiration, the one-time effort, or the sudden burst of energy that changes your life. It is the daily, disciplined commitment to showing up and doing the work, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. Imagine a raindrop hitting a rock. One drop does nothing, but over time, hundreds, thousands, and millions of drops wear down stone. That is the power of consistency. In life, it is the repeated actions, the habits you maintain day after day, that create lasting results. Many people misunderstand success. They think it comes from talent, luck, or a single brilliant idea. The truth is that these things may help, but without consistent effort, they mean very little. Talent without practice fades, luck without preparation is wasted, and ideas without execution remain just dreams. What truly drives achievement is showing up consistently, doing the work even when you do not feel motivated, and persisting when the results seem invisible. It is in these moments, when no one is watching and progress feels slow, that character is built and success is forged. Consistency is not about grand gestures. It is about daily commitment. It is about setting small, achievable goals and pursuing them relentlessly. Writing a few lines every day builds mastery in writing. Exercising a little every day builds strength and stamina. Saving a small amount each month grows into financial security. These small actions, repeated day after day, compound over time, producing results far greater than the sum of individual efforts. It is this compounding effect that makes consistency so powerful. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. Discipline is a partner to consistency. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline ensures that you continue regardless of how you feel. On the days when energy is low or distractions are high, discipline carries you forward. It keeps you committed to your routines, to your plans, and to your vision. Those who understand the value of discipline recognize that consistency is not merely about doing what is easy or enjoyable, but about doing what is necessary to achieve the life they desire. Consistency also builds credibility and trust. In relationships, whether personal or professional, consistent behavior fosters reliability. People know they can count on you when you are consistent in your words, actions, and values. In business, consistently delivering value, meeting deadlines, and maintaining standards builds a reputation that opens doors to new opportunities. Trust and respect are not built overnight, but they grow steadily through consistent behavior. Another important aspect of consistency is patience. The results of persistent effort are rarely immediate. Growth, improvement, and success take time. A person who trains daily does not see a transformation after one session, but over months and years, the change becomes undeniable. Similarly, learning a new skill, building a business, or transforming your health requires consistent, patient effort. Those who quit early, expecting instant results, miss the powerful rewards that consistency delivers over time. Finally, consistency creates momentum. Each small, repeated action builds confidence, competence, and forward motion. Momentum is a powerful force because it makes continued effort easier and results more attainable. When you maintain consistent effort, you create a rhythm, a habit, and a sense of progress that propels you forward. Even challenges and setbacks become easier to overcome when consistency is your foundation, because the habit of persistence gives you the strength to keep moving. In life, there are no shortcuts to mastery, no secret formulas for guaranteed success. The path to meaningful achievement is paved with repeated effort, disciplined practice, and unwavering commitment. Consistency is the key that unlocks doors that talent, luck, and inspiration alone cannot open. It transforms small actions into remarkable results, builds trust and credibility, fosters patience, and generates unstoppable momentum. It is not glamorous, and it may not bring immediate recognition, but it is the one habit that, when embraced fully, ensures that your dreams are not just possibilities, they become realities. Our thoughts are the invisible architects of our lives. Every decision we make, every action we take, and every result we experience begins with a single thought. Yet most people underestimate the power of their own thinking. They allow random ideas, fleeting emotions, or external influences to shape their minds, and then wonder why their lives don't match their dreams. The truth is, what you think about consistently shapes the actions you take, and those actions ultimately determine the life you lead. Consider this: the mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, neglect them, and allow them to grow, they will overtake the space, choking out the possibility of healthy growth. But if you carefully plant seeds of wisdom, positivity, and vision, and nurture them daily, the garden flourishes. Thoughts are those seeds. A single negative thought may seem harmless, but repeated over time, it influences feelings, attitudes, and behaviors. Conversely, focused, constructive thinking leads to productive action, resilience, and progress. It begins with awareness. Most people go through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously choosing their thoughts. They complain about situations, blame others for their challenges, and accept mediocrity as inevitable. These patterns of thought shape habits, decisions, and ultimately the trajectory of their lives. On the other hand, those who understand the power of thought realize that by taking control of their mind, they take control of their actions. They deliberately focus on ideas that encourage growth, learning, and positive behavior. The link between thought and action is undeniable. When you cultivate an idea repeatedly in your mind, it becomes a plan. When it becomes a plan, it becomes an intention. And when intention is paired with effort, it becomes action. If your mind is filled with doubts, fears, and excuses, your actions will reflect hesitation, avoidance, and stagnation. But if your mind is filled with purpose, clarity, and determination, your actions will mirror strength, initiative, and persistence. This process works not only for personal growth, but also for relationships, career, and financial success. For example, a person who consistently thinks about serving others, improving their skills, and adding value will naturally take steps that lead to opportunities, recognition, and trust. In contrast, a person preoccupied with scarcity, competition, or self-doubt will unconsciously make choices that limit potential and close doors. Thoughts are the silent drivers behind every interaction, every choice, and every outcome. Developing mastery over your thoughts requires discipline. Negative and unproductive thinking is habitual for many people, often reinforced by external voices, social influences, and past experiences. To reshape your mind, you must consciously choose what you dwell on. This may mean starting each day with reflection, reading inspiring material, journaling ideas, or repeating affirmations that align your mind with your goals. Over time, these deliberate efforts retrain your thinking, making constructive and empowering thoughts the natural default. Another crucial aspect is visualization. When you consistently imagine the life you want and the person you wish to become, your mind begins to map out the steps needed to make it real. Athletes, entrepreneurs, and successful individuals all use this technique. They see the end result clearly in their mind, and their actions align to bring that vision to life. The mind cannot easily distinguish between vividly imagined scenarios and reality. Repeated mental rehearsal primes your brain to act in ways that create the outcomes you envision. Finally, thoughts shape actions because they shape belief. Beliefs are deeply ingrained thoughts that dictate what you perceive as possible. If you believe you are capable, your actions reflect confidence, persistence, and resourcefulness. If you believe success is reserved for others, your actions are limited by hesitation, fear, and self-sabotage. By consciously cultivating empowering beliefs, you create a foundation for consistent, purposeful action that propels you toward your goals. Every great achievement begins with a thought. Every meaningful change begins in the mind. Your daily thinking patterns are the blueprint for your habits, decisions, and ultimate destiny. By taking control of your thoughts, focusing on positive, productive, and purposeful ideas, and acting on them consistently, you can shape a life of accomplishment, fulfillment, and growth. What you think today, you will become tomorrow, because thought always precedes action, and action always determines the outcome of your life. Small daily improvements are the hidden force behind every great achievement. Many people look at success and assume it happens suddenly, that it comes from a single breakthrough, a lucky opportunity, or a moment of genius. But the truth is quite different. Success is rarely an event, it is a process. It is the result of small, consistent actions performed day after day, week after week, year after year. These small efforts, though seemingly insignificant in the moment, compound over time to produce results that are far greater than the sum of their individual parts. Consider the analogy of saving money. Putting aside just a small amount each day may not seem like much. $1 today, another dollar tomorrow, even $5 a week may feel negligible. But over months and years, that habit of saving grows into a significant sum, especially when combined with interest. The same principle applies to learning, personal growth, fitness, relationships, and professional development. Each small, positive step adds up, and the effects are multiplied over time. Many people fail to understand this principle, and as a result, they seek instant results. They want to lose weight in a week, achieve financial freedom in a month, or master a skill in a few days. When the results do not appear immediately, they become frustrated and give up. But small daily improvements require patience, discipline, and faith in the compounding effect. Progress may be slow at first, almost imperceptible, but over time, it accelerates. Just as a seed grows slowly before it bursts through the soil, your efforts require nurturing before the results become visible. Consistency is the key to compounding. Improvement is only powerful when it is applied regularly, without fail. Learning one page of a book each day, exercising for 20 minutes daily, writing a few lines in a journal, or making a small effort to improve a skill, all of these are seemingly minor actions. Yet, over time, they shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your results. The small things matter because they define the trajectory of your life. A tiny edge maintained consistently creates an unstoppable momentum that propels you forward. Compounding is not limited to positive improvements. It works in the negative as well. Just as small positive actions grow into success, small mistakes, bad habits, and negative thinking accumulate to create limitations, failure, and regret. Neglecting personal growth by skipping learning opportunities, procrastinating, or failing to invest in relationships may not show immediate consequences. Yet, over time, these small neglects compound into significant obstacles that can be difficult to overcome. This is why awareness and deliberate action are crucial. The beauty of small daily improvements is that they are achievable by anyone. You do not need extraordinary talent, wealth, or intelligence to make small, consistent gains. What is required is a commitment to progress and the willingness to take responsibility for your own growth. By focusing on one small improvement each day, you steadily build momentum and confidence. The sense of achievement that comes from these incremental victories reinforces your discipline and motivates you to continue improving. Small improvements also build resilience. Life is filled with setbacks, obstacles, and challenges. When you practice consistent improvement, you develop the habits, skills, and mindset necessary to navigate difficulties effectively. Each small step forward strengthens your foundation, allowing you to recover more quickly when circumstances do not go as planned. Over time, you create a compounding effect not only in results, but also in character, wisdom, and capability. Ultimately, the principle of compounding teaches us that time is your greatest ally. The longer you commit to consistent, positive actions, the more powerful the results become. Each day is an opportunity to improve just a little. Read a few pages, practice a skill, exercise, reflect, or learn something new. These actions may feel insignificant in the moment, but like drops of water wearing away stone, they gradually create transformation. A life built on small daily improvements is not built overnight, but it is built to last. Your journey to success does not require grand gestures or immediate breakthroughs. It requires dedication to the small steps that move you forward every day. By embracing the power of compounding, you ensure that your efforts, no matter how minor they seem, are not wasted. Every positive choice, every improvement, every lesson learned adds to the momentum of your life. Over time, these small daily improvements create extraordinary results, shaping not only what you achieve, but who you become in the process. Our environment plays a far greater role in shaping our lives than most people realize. Every day, we are influenced by the people we interact with, the places we spend time in, and the information we consume. These external factors, whether positive or negative, seep into our thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. The truth is that your surroundings either elevate you or hold you back. Growth, success, and fulfillment are not just a matter of personal effort. They are profoundly shaped by the environment you choose to inhabit. The first and most obvious influence is the people around us. We often underestimate the impact of the company we keep. Friends, colleagues, mentors, and even casual acquaintances affect our thinking, our decisions, and ultimately our results. Those who surround themselves with positive, motivated, and disciplined individuals are more likely to adopt similar habits and attitudes. Their energy is contagious, their standards become benchmarks, and their guidance opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. On the other hand, constant exposure to negativity, complacency, or cynicism can slowly erode ambition and confidence, creating mental and emotional barriers to growth. Beyond people, the physical spaces we occupy also matter. Consider the contrast between a cluttered, chaotic environment and a clean, organized one. Spaces that inspire focus, creativity, and clarity support productivity and positive action. A disorganized environment filled with distractions and chaos can unconsciously foster procrastination, stress, and low energy. Even subtle changes, like decluttering your workspace, adding elements that motivate you, or arranging your surroundings to encourage good habits, can have a meaningful impact on your performance and mindset. Information is another critical part of your environment. Every day, we are bombarded with news, social media, advertisements, and conversations. The ideas we consistently consume shape our worldview, influence our beliefs, and direct our actions. Consuming content that empowers, educates, and inspires encourages growth. Constant exposure to fear-driven media, gossip, or pessimistic viewpoints can instill doubt, limit thinking, and discourage initiative. The mind is like a sponge; it absorbs what it is exposed to. Guarding the information you allow into your life is just as important as choosing the right people or physical spaces. Environment also determines opportunity. When you place yourself in circles that challenge you, push you, and expand your thinking, you are more likely to encounter experiences and opportunities that accelerate growth. Attending seminars, joining mastermind groups, seeking mentors, and surrounding yourself with achievers exposes you to ideas, strategies, and networks that simply wouldn't exist in isolation. Conversely, staying in stagnant or toxic environments limits your perspective, curtails possibilities, and keeps you confined to patterns of mediocrity. Awareness is key. Many people fail to recognize the subtle ways their environment shapes them. A toxic relationship, a demotivating workplace, or even repeated exposure to negative media can slowly influence behavior without immediate realization. Becoming conscious of these influences allows you to take control, to intentionally curate an environment that supports your goals rather than undermines them. Growth is not just about personal effort. It is about creating conditions where your best self can emerge and thrive. Adapting your environment doesn't always require dramatic changes. Small adjustments, consistently applied, can create profound effects. Spending more time with motivated individuals, dedicating spaces for learning or reflection, limiting negative media, and seeking mentors are all steps that gradually shift the mental and emotional climate around you. Over time, these adjustments compound, reinforcing positive habits, productive thinking, and a mindset oriented toward achievement. The environment you choose also influences your resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and obstacles are inevitable in life. Being in a supportive, growth-oriented environment gives you resources, encouragement, and perspective to overcome difficulties more effectively. People and spaces that foster learning, creativity, and perseverance help you see setbacks as temporary rather than permanent, as lessons rather than failures. Ultimately, the environment acts as a silent partner in your journey of growth. It either elevates your potential or limits it. The people you associate with, the spaces you inhabit, the ideas you consume, and the opportunities you seek. All of these shape the quality of your thinking, your habits, and your results. Choosing an environment that encourages growth is not optional, it is essential. It is the foundation upon which your discipline, effort, and vision can flourish, transforming ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Learning without action is like planting seeds and never watering them. Knowledge has incredible potential, but its true power is unlocked only when it is applied. Every lesson, every insight, every skill you acquire becomes meaningful when it leads to deliberate action. Simply accumulating information does not change your life. It is the translation of learning into consistent, purposeful action that transforms dreams into reality. The first step is understanding that learning is not an end in itself. Many people spend years studying, reading, attending seminars, and consuming content, yet they see little change in their lives. Why? Because they fail to implement what they learn. Knowledge is like a map. It shows you where to go, but until you take the journey, the map remains just a piece of paper. Action is what bridges the gap between knowing and achieving. It is through action that the lessons become experience, the principles become habits, and the potential becomes results. Action requires courage. Learning often exposes us to ideas that challenge our current beliefs, push us out of comfort zones, and confront fears. The moment you learn something valuable, you face a choice to act or to ignore it. Acting on new knowledge may involve risk, effort, and temporary discomfort, but it is precisely through these actions that growth occurs. Every step taken, even if imperfect, moves you closer to mastery. Hesitation and procrastination, on the other hand, allow knowledge to fade into irrelevance. Consistency in action is just as important as the act itself. Small, repeated steps transform learning into skill. For instance, reading about financial management is beneficial, but applying those principles by creating a budget, tracking expenses, and investing wisely produces tangible results. Practicing a language daily after studying it ensures fluency. Implementing a leadership principle consistently at work builds influence and respect. Action, reinforced over time, compounds learning into competence and confidence. Another critical aspect is reflection. Action alone is not enough. It must be informed by thoughtful evaluation. Each step you take provides feedback. Successes show what works, while mistakes reveal what needs adjustment. By reflecting on the outcomes of your actions, you refine your approach, deepen your understanding, and enhance your future performance. Learning and action form a loop. Learning inspires action. Action generates experience, and experience produces deeper learning. This continuous cycle accelerates growth and creates momentum toward your goals. Surrounding yourself with opportunities to act is equally important. Learning in isolation limits application. The most effective way to translate knowledge into results is to seek environments, mentors, and experiences that encourage practical application. Networking, projects, challenges, and real-world problems provide the context in which lessons can be applied meaningfully. Theoretical knowledge gains power only when tested in the arena of life. Action also builds confidence. Knowing what to do is one thing, doing it is another. Each time you apply a principle or implement a new strategy successfully, it reinforces your belief in your own capabilities. Confidence grows not from passive learning, but from active engagement, from proving to yourself that you can turn knowledge into tangible outcomes. This confidence, in turn, motivates further action, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of growth and achievement. Moreover, action multiplies opportunity. Knowledge creates potential, but action converts that potential into results, which then attract more possibilities. People notice initiative, dedication, and competence. Opportunities that might never have appeared become accessible when you demonstrate the ability to take what you've learned and make it work. The world responds to doers, not just thinkers. Ultimately, life rewards those who act. Knowledge is a tool, but it is the hands that wield it that determine its impact. Reading, studying, or listening to wisdom is valuable, but unless it changes what you do, it does not change your life. Action transforms theory into practice, ideas into results, and intention into reality. Those who understand this principle realize that learning is only the beginning. The real growth comes when you take decisive, consistent action on what you have learned. The combination of learning and action is powerful. Knowledge guides direction, action creates momentum, reflection refines approach, and persistence ensures long-term success. By committing to act on what you learn every day, you turn potential into progress, dreams into achievements, and ideas into lasting impact. Learning without action may inform you, but action following learning transforms you. Transformation begins in the mind. Before any change occurs in your circumstances, your habits, or your achievements, it first happens in the way you think. Your mindset is the foundation upon which every success, every accomplishment, and every breakthrough is built. If your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes are aligned with growth, resilience, and possibility, the world will respond accordingly. If they are mired in doubt, fear, or limitation, no external effort can produce lasting results. The first step in cultivating a transformative mindset is awareness. Most people live reactively, allowing circumstances, opinions, and emotions to dictate their thinking. They blame situations, complain about obstacles, and accept mediocrity as inevitable. This mindset keeps them trapped in cycles of frustration and underachievement. Awareness means recognizing these patterns and choosing to take control of your thoughts deliberately. It is the understanding that while you may not control every external event, you always control your response, your perspective, and your focus. A growth-oriented mindset sees opportunity in every challenge. When faced with setbacks, mistakes, or failures, the mind that expects growth interprets these experiences as lessons rather than disasters. Each obstacle becomes a stepping stone, each failure a feedback mechanism. Transformation occurs when you adopt the belief that improvement is always possible, that learning never ends, and that effort compounded over time yields results. A mindset committed to growth turns adversity into fuel and fear into motivation. Belief shapes action. If you believe you are capable, your actions align with confidence, persistence, and creativity. If you believe success is only for others, your actions are tentative, inconsistent, and limited by fear. Transformation cannot occur without belief, because belief determines the quality, quantity, and direction of your effort. To cultivate a transformative mindset, it is essential to reinforce empowering beliefs regularly through reflection, affirmations, reading, and exposure to inspiring ideas. What you believe about yourself and your potential dictates what you are willing to attempt and what you are willing to persist at. Consistency in mindset is as critical as consistency in action. One moment of optimism does not overcome years of self-doubt, just as one productive day does not undo months of inaction. Transformation requires habitual thinking that aligns with your vision. This means starting each day with focus, intention, and positive mental conditioning. It means consistently choosing to see possibilities rather than obstacles, solutions rather than problems, and growth rather than limitation. Over time, these habitual thought patterns reshape your perception, behavior, and ultimately your life. Environment also plays a crucial role in shaping mindset. Surrounding yourself with people, ideas, and influences that support growth accelerates transformation. Mentors, peers, books, and experiences that challenge you to think bigger and act bolder reinforce the mindset necessary for change. Conversely, negative influences, cynicism, and complacency reinforce limiting beliefs and slow progress. A conscious effort to curate your mental and physical environment strengthens the mindset that precedes meaningful transformation. Visualization and mental rehearsal are powerful tools for cultivating a transformative mindset. When you consistently imagine the life you want, the person you aspire to become, and the habits you wish to embody, your subconscious mind begins to align with that vision. Your thoughts guide your actions, and repeated mental practice prepares you to respond effectively when opportunities or challenges arise. Mindset, in this sense, is both the architect and the builder of transformation. Finally, transformation requires patience and resilience. The mind changes gradually through repeated effort, reflection, and reinforcement. Immediate results are rare, and setbacks are inevitable. A strong, growth-oriented mindset recognizes that progress is a process, not an event. It perseveres through frustration, doubts, and temporary failures because it understands that lasting transformation is built on sustained, intentional mental effort. The power of mindset is undeniable. It precedes every action, shapes every habit, and determines every outcome. To change your life, you must first change the way you see yourself, your circumstances, and your possibilities. By cultivating a mindset of growth, resilience, and possibility, you create the internal conditions for external success. Transformation is not something that happens to you. It begins with the thoughts you nurture, the beliefs you reinforce, and the perspective you choose each day. When your mindset is aligned with possibility, every challenge becomes a lesson, every effort compounds, and every action moves you closer to your highest potential. Mindset precedes transformation because who you become on the inside inevitably determines what you achieve on the outside. By taking charge of your thoughts, cultivating empowering beliefs, and consistently focusing on growth, you lay the groundwork for the extraordinary life you are capable of creating.